Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. We are not dying.
No, but we are live.
We are not dying, but we are dying.
Welcome aboard,
We will
everybody.
give our lives to go into an empty black room and watch illuminated images on the screen, all for you, you slimy weasels. And we love you. When we come back each week, doing the same miserable show over and over and over and over and over and over.
As they say, genius is never recognized in our own lifetimes.
Anal copulation.
50 years from now, people might say, hey, you know what? Those guys are doing something pretty good.
Yeah, they were doing something pretty good. It's a shame nobody gave a damn. It's like Van Gogh. He got struck his ear off for what?
I think some people enjoy it.
Oh, well, the 6 people that love us really love us.
They do. Hey, I'd rather have 6 fans than 0. Wouldn't you?
All right, let us begin the game.
Beggars can't be choosers. Welcome, everybody. Film Banter.
Welcome, everybody.
Episode 44.
Episode 44. That's true.
44.
Yes, sir. I am Harold P. Farquhar.
You are, and I
And
am
this is,
Benedictum. I'm Benedictum. I couldn't come up with a better last name than that.
That's pretty bad.
I know.
That is
I was
quite-
gonna say Cobblepot, but
That's
that was
quite
in
bad.
what's it called? That was the Penguin in Batman Returns.
That is correct. That is correct.
Anyway, well, thanks for coming,
Well, anyway,
everybody.
here it
Thanks
is,
for
ladies and
watching.
gentlemen. This is Mr. Benedict Cumberpatch.
Yeah,
And we're so grateful that he's here.
I'm grateful to be here.
All right.
Truly, I am. And this
All
is
right, there you
Mr. Daryl K. Farquaad, right?
Mr. Farquhar.
Farquhar?
Mr.
Where's your applause?
Right here. There you go. There you go, folks. Well, thank you. Well, it's so good to be here, as always. So,
I like your shades.
no, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, they're in honor of Mr. Lennon, actually. He used to
It looks
wear
like him.
these sort of shades, indeed. So, all right, we shall begin our
Let's begin with the film.
We're going to go right into our boring opening here. First of all, let's talk about this. This is episode 44.
It is. 44. I like
Okay,
it.
it's the one after 43 and before,
And before 45.
And,
Yeah.
of course, we're not going to be here next week.
Next week we're off, guys. We'll be back a week after that.
That's right. Mr. Picard here is taking off.
I'm taking a little vacation, much needed.
With a lady friend.
Yes,
and,
we're going
they're
to a
going
nice place to relax.
Very good. And copulate amongst the sand. Where are you going to?
I don't know. I can't really disclose that information.
Why?
I'll tell you what we're going to be doing.
No, where you're going.
Oh, where we're going. Oh, I thought you were talking about where we're going to be doing things.
Well, we know you're going to be doing things.
we're
We assume
go-
you'll be copulating.
We're going to Lake George.
Oh, very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Well,
We're going to be enjoying the Georgie Lake.
Very good.
Yeah, you've never been up
Lake
there. Have
of
you been
Georgia.
there?
I don't know where that is.
It's in New York State. 3.5 hours up north.
Oh, God. Why go there? Why not just go...
Because it's beautiful from what I
There's like
understand.
a 7-lake drive right up here.
That's just what I want to do. Spend my vacation in, an area 10 minutes from where I live. That sounds really boring.
Very well.
Anyway, we're going to have a good time.
It is what it is.
But, yes, so
All right.
let's begin with our first film of the night, Wakefield, starring the
Mr.
wonderful
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, whom I adore.
Yes, this is a wonderful movie.
Yes,
This
it
is a very
really
strange, enchanting
It is
little...
a gem.
It is
of
a
film.
fantasy film. It is a movie about a man who withdraws from life.
Mm-hmm.
It is not so much that he withdraws from his family per se. He withdraws from life itself.
He withdraws from being himself,
He
really.
withdraws from the machine, the
grind,
mechanical
yes.
grind, the 3-wheeled, the 4-wheeled.
Commuting into the city every day,
As being a
working.
cog of the machine. And this is a guy who comes home one day and he realizes that he's going to have an argument with his wife, played by the beautifully estranged wife of Mr. Affleck, Jennifer Garner.
Yeah,
she's
she's
just
really luminous in this
lovely,
movie, yeah.
illuminating. They make her look so
She's excellent.
lovely indeed. And Bryan Cranston, as her husband, decides to hide out in the garage and watch his family.
Mm-hmm.
And we think, okay, well, he's going to go in eventually. Well, he doesn't.
He stays in
just
there
stays there and
for quite
goes
some
into
time.
becomes a missing person.
Yeah.
He watches his family. He watches them like
Through
he's
the
watching
changing
an ant
seasons,
farm.
yeah.
He's just got that voyeur
He does.
sense of focus on his family, watching everything that
Yeah.
they do, and he has hilarious narration.
Yeah, he narrates the
as
whole
he
film. Yeah.
assumes as this suitor comes now that he's out of the picture. So we have a specific guy who comes to kind of a couple
Of course.
guys
Yeah, of
actually
course, yeah.
who come to put the moves on his now
wife,
wife who
yes.
is without a husband because he is missing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very bizarre film. I've never quite seen anything like it. my hat goes off to Mr. Bryan Cranston for taking
As
such
does
a
mine.
role.
Yeah.
You know, Bryan is amazing. He just has this ability to completely transcend middle America or upper middle America. He just becomes every man. He is such a genius of non sequitur. He is just a guy who can just take the most minimalistic acting mode and just become almost not robotical, that's not the word I want, but he just has this ability to remove himself from the character, which he does very beautifully in this, and just play a normal guy.
And he's very natural as an actor.
He's very natural.
You don't
He's
really
so
get
good.
you don't really get the feeling, okay, this person's acting.
No,
he's
no,
just
no, he's-
being this guy.
He's
And
so
I
natural.
totally bought it.
So natural.
And I thought it was really a tremendous performance that unfortunately might be one of those that are overlooked come awards times, but it's really
I hope not.
a really wonderful little performance. I really enjoyed the
You
film.
know, it's not a. I don't think it's a great acting performance. It's not. You know,
No, but
there's
it's
not a
very
real lot
good.
of emotional range going on.
But that's
here.
okay. Not everything has to be cry fest.
True.
You know,
But I mean, it is almost mandatory in the sense of our
to get an
Academy
Oscar, you gotta
Awards.
shed a tear.
Yeah, you've got to shed a tear or two, and
Or you
you've
got to
gotta
save somebody that's been
Or
persecuted
you've got to
something.
act
you know?
insane, or you've got to be, you know,
Have some kind of an ailment.
some kind of a mental ailment or whatever,
physical,
or
in a
physical.
wheelchair, maybe?
Yeah, my left foot. You know, you've got to be. If you're Daniel Day-Lewis, your chances of getting an Oscar are certainly
Oh,
higher
that's
than
true.
any other human on the planet. But
Yeah.
but anyway, I really love this film.
No, I did too. I was extremely impressed with just how much I enjoyed it. I really was really sucked into this story fairly early on.
I know.
I was totally committed to this story, where it was going. I didn't feel bored even for a moment. And it's not only beautiful as a film to look at, beautifully photographed, but I thought the score, this very simplistic, mostly piano score of this film.
Well, it was mostly classical.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was so memorable. And it really brought you through the highs and lows of what his character is going through.
Yeah.
And it just really sucked you in as a viewer. And I
No,
just thought
I
it was
agree.
a gorgeous movie. I really can't recommend Wakefield highly enough for everybody. Everybody
totally
is
agree.
excellent. It's well cast.
Totally agree.
It was written and directed by a female director who I forget her name, but she is actually married to the heir of the famous Kazan family, Ilya Kazan.
Oh, really?
Her daughter is Zoe Kazan.
Well,
Interesting.
we just
yeah.
saw recently.
We just saw her 2 weeks ago in The Big Sick.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I reviewed
Right.
that film,
Correct.
and she
I have
was in
not
that.
seen that as of
Yeah,
yet. but
you got to
have.
check it out.
I will
You
check it
gotta
out.
see
I will
that
check
film.
it out. No, this is a unique little.
I do
little
want to
piece
say
of
the
work.
director-writer's name because she was very good.
Okay.
Her name is Robin Swicord. Very good. She's been an accomplished screenwriter. I was looking up too.
Okay.
Wrote quite a few things actually. But definitely, if you're going to check out a movie this week, I would say go check out Wakefield. It's streaming now.
It's out
I
on
believe
video
it's on
today.
Amazon.
It is on your. You can go to
It's just a tremendous
Best
film.
Buy, wherever you buy.
I hope
your
it shows up on
movies.
Netflix soon because that'll definitely reach
Yeah,
a wider audience.
definitely so.
And I think it was one of the better films I've seen in quite a while. I really enjoyed it.
I have to agree. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of times I will not watch an entire film in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
This movie I put on very late at night, and I ended up just so
The whole
engrossed
thing,
in
yeah.
it.
Me too. I didn't put it on until about 11:30
I know.
last night or
no,
so.
No,
yeah.
it's actually more like 12 o'clock.
Whatever time it was great.
It was 12 o'clock, and you called and you said, "Yeah, I'm about to watch Wakefield," and I said, "Enjoy."
Yes.
But it's just it's a unique film. It's
It is.
completely, totally without any precedence of previous film. It's I mean, we talk about people putting out
It's just the same old shit.
It's true.
Hollywood just cranking out the endless parade of clones. This is
I
a
know.
unique film
It
amongst
is.
its own. My only complaint with this film now. This is a film about loss. It's a film about pulling out of the machine of social, job, life,
Yeah.
wife, kids. Just pulling out of that completely, and
I
just
think I know what you're
watching
gonna
him. Well, I was going to say that the only thing that did disappoint me was the very ending.
Yes, that's what I was going to say too.
I wanted the film to go on at least
too.
another 10 minutes.
I agree with you 100%.
I needed.
I
that.
wanted more.
Oh my god!
And to me, that's also a real good sign of a film that's well done. You want more. You don't want it to end. Some movies you're like, okay, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap
No,
this
true.
up.
But
Not this one.
But in my recollection, and as I sit here and give this mindless review, I have to say that that's the one flaw for me. You know, I as much as I love the movie and it had me, you know, it just kept reeling me in. I couldn't leave it. I love the fact that he just becomes a bum, going through garbage.
Yeah, living like a bum.
Living like a slob, living like an absolute, you know, nothing of society.
You know what I could have done without? All right, if I have to be forced to have a negative critique, it's just I could have done without that whole like crew of
the
Russians that were stealing people's garbage.
And why
I could have done without
why
that.
they would beat him up for taking a pair of shoes. That just seemed ridiculous.
That was contrived, and I felt I was like, okay, we need a moment of tension.
We need
here
something here to put him on a chase mode.
Yeah, that was not necessary.
That was a cop out.
Yeah, that was an unnecessary moment.
That was a cop out. And of course, you don't know what we're talking about, but there is a moment in the film where it leaves the reality of our situation where
it goes conventional.
Where Bryan Cranston is on the run from another group of scavengers like himself, but the ending for me was I needed more. I needed
in a way you could say that the filmmaker didn't want to commit necessarily with the resolution or with the way the story would have been interpreted in the viewer's viewer's mind going forward, but you know, it's really mostly exceptional, so I'm willing to forgive it because everything else about it is
and not
just
only
wonderful.
that, in a sense, they did give us because Bryan Cranston would often have these little fantasy, and we're going probably a little longer on this than we want. But you know, it's such a great movie.
We're going to skim through other movies, so that's fine.
Very true. But you know, there are some little fantasy
moments that's true.
where he imagines what is going to happen.
Yeah.
So at the very end, there he imagines, well, this could take place or this could take place.
Yeah.
They're either going to reject or
welcome.
Welcome. So you know, I guess we got it in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, it was one or the other, that 50-50 thing going on.
It's like the Inception ending.
But I would have really
enjoyed. Does the top spin continually, or does it fall?
Very true.
But
great movie.
Recommend two big yeses for Wakefield.
If we were doing
seek it out.
If we were doing a 0 to 10 IMDb rating, I'd give this about an 8. I think.
I would say an 8 solid. Yeah,
solid 8. It's
That's
just a brilliant little piece of work and a fantastic performance by Bryan Cranston.
He's great.
All right, let us move on. The next film I saw on Netflix, and I went and got this movie. I watched it simply because of Jennifer Garner is the wife of Bryan Cranston in Wakefield. And she's so, you know, we see this woman going through great heartbreak because her husband has left her. Mm-hmm. He's sitting in the garage watching his whole family live their lives without him. And he's making judgment calls and so forth. Mm-hmm. But Jennifer Garner becomes such an important focus of not only him, but we're also voyeurs. Just like Bryan Cranston, we're watching him watching them. Yeah. So and then
because we see the whole movie through his eyes.
I know we do, and when we see the movie through our own eyes, making our own judgment call on how we perceive Jennifer Garner and what he's doing to her, you know, there's a certain sense of cruelty that he's laying upon this family. That
I couldn't do something like that.
I could never do something like that.
To know that your loved one is worried about you.
To know that they're going through such anguish and such horror and such, you know, it's a cruel thing that he does, but at the same time, it's fascinating.
It is.
I can't see anybody actually doing this in real life. But people don't do this, I believe. I mean, it's obviously they could be doing it and we don't know about it. But I mean, this is a film first and foremost, and regardless, it is because of Jennifer Garner, who was so lovely and so illuminatingly. She just is the ultimate mother, wife, lover. She was etc.
Well used as an actress in this film. I feel like sometimes actresses, even actors as well, are wasted in movies, and I feel that a lot of times the wife character in movies is not given enough to do. Okay. And I felt that she had quite a bit to do in this film and really ran with it as an actor and did a great job doing what she could, I thought, with a role that was mostly visual.
Okay, I think any good actress could have taken this to the
element. I agree with you.
But
I'm saying
like
she did a great job.
Julianne Moore or a Laura Linney or something.
Of course.
Anybody could have taken this and given it even more. You know, Jennifer's not the most warm person on the planet. She almost presents a little bit of a cool element.
I know what you're
to
saying.
Her.
Yeah, there's that.
But you know, she just comes across so vulnerable and so touchingly sweet. So I went on. There's a movie called Butter, which is literally what it sounds like. It's
Burrell.
Ty Burrell from Family.
Modern Family.
Modern Family. Thank you so much.
Many movies.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. It's a good thing he's here. But anyway, this is a movie about where Ty Burrell is actually a butter competitionist. He carves big, beautiful statues, if you will, or sculptures out of butter.
And it's like it's in small town
So
America.
then it's in a small town,
Yeah,
America.
okay.
So then he withdraws from the competition. His wife takes over, and she's up against a very small black child, a little African girl who is just wonderful. I think she might be the same girl who was just recently in that Amanda Seyfried, Shirley MacLaine film.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, I think it might be the same black girl, but this girl is wonderful. She's just an old soul in a very young body.
I'll look it up for you.
And she's got to be 10 years old, maybe a little bit older, but it really becomes a movie. Hugh Jackman also shows up. This is a comedy, but it's a comedy drama. It just is small town elements of nondescript, just kind of joy, lack of joy, jealousy, there's a lot of emotional stress, etc., that goes on in this film.
This is her, right?
That is her.
Her name is Yara Shahidi.
And what was she in?
She was in Salt.
Oh,
She's in that show Blackish for many seasons now.
Okay, interesting.
Bad Teacher.
Okay.
Alex Cross. Butter here.
Yeah.
The Cape.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
she's wonderful. She's very good.
What movie did you say you thought she was in?
I know. I forget.
Yeah.
Forget it. She wasn't obviously in that film.
No problem.
Yeah, I thought she was in that movie with Shirley and
MacLaine, yeah.
Amanda. But anyway, regardless, it's a very warm little comedy of a film. I very much enjoyed it. It's there's not really too much to say about it. It becomes a competition between Jennifer Garner, who is not a likable character at all in this. She's kind of a real bitch deluxe in the whole.
So is she kind of like the antagonist in this movie?
I wouldn't call her the antagonist. It's too much of a comedy to be
that
for
much.
there to be even an antagonist in this film.
Okay.
But she just plays kind of a very the warmth that she exudes in Wakefield is completely gone in Butter.
In this movie, okay.
Yeah, she's a real bitch deluxe. But regardless, the film just has a very great sense of allure to me. I really enjoyed it a lot. It's really about our little black girl and how she's lost her mom and so forth, and her coming into her own fruition as a human being and as a person who's passed around from foster home to foster home. And
so the butter competition is her vessel into womanhood.
Exactly,
in a way.
and of course she's a brilliant sculpturess.
Of course she
in
is.
the film naturally, but it's a fun little movie. It's just it's just a little throwaway piece of brain fluff, and like Butter, it will melt at the end, and you will forget about this film in a year or so. But still, I enjoyed it. It was great.
So
fun.
it's a yes for
Absolutely.
Netflix.
I give it if you're on Netflix and you check out Butter, you can't really go that wrong.
You know what's a good Jennifer Garner film that I love a lot? It's Ricky Gervais' film, The Invention of Lying.
Oh, I know that film.
Yeah, it's funny, it's clever, it's smart, and she's very good in that film.
She's
also.
excellent in that.
She's very cute in that movie too.
And of course, she was fantastic in the whole ABC series Alias.
You know, did you believe I've never watched Alias?
I watched every single one.
I have it at home too. I should
oh my
watch
God,
it,
she was outrageous.
That was her big break. Yeah.
Well, then she went on and she did Elektra, which was
that was a spin-off of Daredevil.
Correct.
Where she met Ben
exactly.
Affleck. Yeah.
But she was basically playing that same athlete warrior that she kind of had done in Alias. So
yes.
In Alias, she's so good. She's just so she was great in that film. She's a spy. She's a secret agent.
I know the premise.
I loved it. It was great fun. Great fun.
Cool.
Anyway,
so,
all right. So there we go.
On.
Let us move on now.
I'm going to cover a film, or I'll introduce a film that I think we both have seen.
Film.
It's called We Are the Flesh.
To your health, people.
Yes, to your health. We Are the Flesh. And this is a Mexican film which came out late last year. It's out now on streaming sites. You can find it.
Yes.
This is I would say, a fantastical horror, I would say. It's a sex movie.
There is sex in this film, no question.
To say the least.
To say the most.
This movie is not a film for the squeamish. It's not a film for the prudes.
It's not a film for the whole family.
It's not a film, I would say, for a lot of people.
Which makes me throw up a little in my mouth when you say that it's for the whole family.
I know. But anyway,
no, this is not for the whole
nevertheless, I went into this movie not really knowing anything about it.
True.
And I just put it on, and it starts out very bizarre. The brief storyline is we just meet this guy who we kind of get a feeling is a squatter in like an old building, a factory.
Right.
He's making something, we don't know what it is. It looks like he's making moonshine, whatever. Then eventually we see his daily activities in this place, and he meets two young people that kind of come in, a brother, sister who are probably in their late teens, early 20s. Come in, they want to live with him, and so he proceeds to allow them to live there.
Exploit them.
But he exploits them and makes them help him take the inside of this one area of this building, this factory, and put up all this wood, and then cover it, ensconce it in cardboard, and then basically it almost, I guess, you paint over it or whatever, and he makes it look like you're inside of a cave, but it also kind of resembles the inside of a womb. I think that's a deliberate reference, I would say.
Inside of a womb?
Womb, W-O-M-B.
I know what a womb is.
I think that was part of the implication, is that what they were going for.
So they're like in a womb with a view.
A womb with a view. A very dark and moist
There
view.
you go. And you mentioned wood earlier. There's a lot of wood in this film, I think, also.
So
it's
as the
quite a
story in
sexy
this film
I
continues...
I did not expect the sex to just...
me
suddenly
neither.
a woman drops to her knees
and starts doing an act on a gentleman.
This actor in the film, and
we're not
like,
talking
whoa,
about
wait a minute here.
It's not implied. These people
No.
are doing these sex acts
There are
on
sex
camera.
acts in this film. We
It was
are the flesh.
Fairly shocking.
I was fairly shocked.
I was, and I don't
And
shock
that's
easy.
the whole reason I wanted you to see
why
this
you told me
film,
to watch this
because
movie,
I
yeah.
knew that you, like myself, would go, "Whoa,
What
am
is
I
this
watching
movie?"
here?"
Yeah, so-
you know, it's not a porn film. by any means,
but it's
But it
strong.
becomes a strong,
Yeah.
and it is an actually X-rated movie.
Yeah,
No
it's one of the
question
few
about it.
films to get the equivalent X rating in Mexico. I think it's only the fifth film to receive the D rating, which is their version
Oh,
of
there
X.
you go.
And then the
Well,
film takes some dark turns. There is some pretty graphic violence in this film.
Okay.
There are orgies in this film.
Yes,
There are people eating flesh. It's a cannibalistic film.
I know.
Okay, so my judgment on this film is I'm going to give it a no.
Really?
It's not a film that I can recommend to many people. To people like you and I who are open-minded, to cinematic enthusiasts, okay, I'll give an amended yes to you.
But just
to
in its-
see it as a film.
But just in its uniqueness.
It's unique.
I don't
I'll
want you to
say
judge
that.
it for the people out there. Judge it for you.
No, I know that, but for myself, I really...
Didn't care for it.
I didn't care for it because I don't
That's
seek
another
out
story.
those kind of movies.
Okay.
I'm not upset.
Nor did
that
I.
Yeah.
Nor did I.
I'm not upset that I saw it.
Yeah.
I'm glad it exists. I'm glad that I saw it.
Well, I don't know if I'm glad it exists.
Well, no, I would say that any film that's made, okay, you know what, this person created this piece of art, and even if I don't like it, I'm going to say, you know what, congratulations to you. You achieved your dream of making this film, or you did this painting, or you did this sculpture, because it takes a lot of work to create art, and I applaud
Even a bad
artists.
film, it takes just
It's
as much work
still
to make a bad
somebody's
film
work.
as it makes to
I
make a
agree.
good film.
I agree. So, on the merits of film, I'll say congratulations, but it's just not my taste.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a film that I felt had too many, and I don't want to say redeeming value, but there's a lot of stuff in this film that I just feel brings somewhat negativity into the universe.
Well, there's a lot of repulsiveness.
Very
about this.
repulsive
It was really
visuals.
repulsive.
It very much
the
was.
guy, the main
Yeah.
character.
Oh, that's the point you remind me of real quick. The main guy in this film, the acting is astounding in this. It's very well done. He disturbed the hell out of me.
He's so
repulsive. Creepy, repulsive,
He is.
deranged-looking character.
When he's playing that drum,
It's horrifying.
I tell you, I
Slow
had
motion.
to fast forward through that.
It's very
It was so
disturbing.
loud and so
And
obnoxious.
obnoxious, yeah.
I couldn't even do it.
I agree with you.
Do I call it the stinker of the week? I think so.
In a way.
I think so.
It's on.
Uh-oh. Looks
It's on.
like... is it on?
Yeah, I turned it on.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have turned it on. Because, yes, it is the...
In a way.
It is the...
But, however, go ahead.
It's not working, Phil.
There you go.
Oh, that was
the
a
film
word-
did leave a mark in my brain, and I'll never be able to erase it.
And a stain on your underpants.
Kind of.
And a stain on your underpants, too.
So,
It left quite a bit of...
it's a unique film. I'll give it that. I'll
It
tell
is
you that.
unique, you
And I
know.
will say that I thought that the girl was gorgeous.
She was very
I thought
attractive.
she was very alluring, very...
Well, thank God
she
for
had,
that.
She had a presence as
She
an
did,
actress, and I
yeah.
hope she has a big future.
Right.
I hope she doesn't get
I'll
tossed to
give
the
her a
porn
big future
circle.
right here,
what I'm
ladies and
saying?
hey, madame, hey.
I hope she doesn't get just cast in those kind of films. Hope she can spread her wings as an actress. And
Well, she certainly
you know,
spread. There's no question about that.
I mean, there is two graphic close-ups of male and female genitalia in this movie that I have not seen outside of a pornographic film.
I know, very true. It's only an hour and 20 minutes long.
Short film.
And at the same time, I found it to be entertaining. You know, it kind of reminded me
wasn't
a little
boring,
bit of...
I'll
It
tell
was
you.
not boring at all. Do you remember Short Bus? By
I know the movie. I never saw it, but I know the movie.
John blah blah blah, the guy who did Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Yes.
You know, kind of had that element of that. You know, that little bit of a shocking.
You talking about John Rice Myers?
No.
Oh, you're talking about filmmaker. Oh, filmmaker. I'm sorry.
The guy who did Hedwig. He did a movie called Short Bus.
The filmmaker. Yes, yeah. I know the movie Short Bus.
And it was an orgy film.
Yes,
it was basically an orgy film. But anyway, regardless, I mean, there's not a lot of real X-rated. Kind of films
narrative
out there.
films out there.
Yeah, but this is it is unique. Call it what you will.
John Cameron Mitchell was the director of Short Bus.
There you go. Yes, good old John Cameron. Very good. Well, let's launch right in. I'm gonna give We Are the Flesh. I'm gonna give it a mild thumbs up because
mild, yes.
Yeah, I do because
okay.
Just for it's you know, it's so hard to find something that does shock you. And me, certainly, we're jaded to the world of film. We've seen everything. I've given up my life. I have no life anymore. I just stay at home for you people there, and I just watch movies over and over. I don't even go out. I can't even go out anymore. My brain has become a claustrophobic.
That's not true. You go to the theater.
Well, I do go to the movies, but I'm just going to go to the movies.
Well, I understand.
It's just a matter of transporting my body.
So you're just saying you don't have a social life.
I have no life whatsoever. All I do is watch films. I'm completely devoid. I've removed myself from the socialized world of human contact and being. All I have in my life now are films. I watch movies continually. I've
10 to 12 a week.
Destroyed my life. Yeah, easily. Oh, more than that. I mean, you have no idea what stuff I actually watch. I just watched the entire series of Stranger Things on Saturday night from beginning to end. I watched the whole
It's a great
thing.
way to watch it.
10 episodes. I watched it all. I went from 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning. I watched the whole damn show.
Awesome.
It was awesome. It was wonderful. I love Stranger Things.
I watched it over a whole day, like a weekend, Saturday to Sunday.
It's a magnificent series. If you're on Netflix and you haven't heard about Stranger Things, you're living in a... because
the new season's coming soon. It's astounding.
You're
it's great.
so low, you're living under an ant's umbrella.
It's pure 80s nostalgia. It's the best.
I wouldn't call it 80s nostalgia. I mean,
there's a lot of nostalgic elements with the music, the vibe, the throwbacks to the hints at E.T. in terms of the camaraderie with the kids.
Yeah.
And the music
is
pure
horror,
80s synth.
It's a horror film.
No, it is, but it's set in like the world of the 80s. It takes place in the 80s.
I had a tough time with it because of the kids. I'm not a kid fan. I don't like kids in movies. I mean, I was a kid when I saw E.T., but I wasn't a kid, but I mean, I was younger certainly. But this movie has there's one little toothless guy who looks like Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees, and he just kind of there was a disturbing aspect to kid actors.
No, I know.
I find them to be always overacting, and there's a lot of overacting in these kids here. No question about it. The beauty of this film is that little girl. She's a British girl.
Number 11. She's great.
Number 11 she plays as her role.
Fantastic.
She's wonderful.
She's
just dynamite. And of course we have we think something may have happened to her, but then the sheriff is throwing stuff in a...
David Harbour, he's great.
Yeah, he's great. It's a great show.
He's your new Hellboy.
Is he?
He's playing Hellboy in the reboot.
Is it going to be a Guillermo del Toro?
No, he's not going to be directing, no.
Oh, what a shame, because I do love me some
He might be producing,
Guillermo.
but he's not directing.
Guillermo's new film does come out, though, very shortly.
The Shape of Water looks great.
Does look great.
Is it August?
I believe
so. Is it that soon? Are we that lucky?
So, sir.
I thought it was later.
Yeah, Guillermo is our man.
That movie, if you haven't seen the trailer for The Shape of Water, check it out. Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon's in it?
Yeah. No, release date December 8th.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I knew we weren't getting it that soon.
Oh, what a shame.
Anyway, why don't we move on to, assuming you're done with your Stranger Things tidbit?
I am.
Okay. Two big yeses for that, by the way. We never covered it on the show.
All right, Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde, the big movie of the weekend, at least for me.
You may start.
So I'm sure you've seen the trailer. Atomic Blonde.
I've seen the film.
So have I, but I'm saying the audience.
So you're talking to them.
Yes, audience out there.
We're talking to you.
Atomic Blonde is the action film.
Is anybody there?
There's people there.
Not many.
Is the action film starring Charlize Theron.
Yes, Charlize.
It takes place mostly in Germany, East and West Germany. This takes place in 1989, right as the Berlin Wall is about to come down.
Yeah.
She plays a British operative trying to infiltrate. Not infiltrate. She's a
spy.
She's a spy. She has infiltrated East and West Germany. She is trying to find a missing, stolen bit of plans or documents. that can name.
Love Charlene, by the way.
Charlize Theron is amazing.
She's awesome.
She's trying to find a little bit of documents that can reveal all the secret agents
The
throughout.
MacGuffin, the bullshit,
Yeah,
the
it's,
thing.
it's what they're all looking
the
for.
item of pursuit.
In this film,
known as the
it's
MacGuffin.
encoded into a watch.
It is.
So she has a contact, another agent played by James McAvoy.
She does.
And he's her contact in this film.
Yep.
And then there's other actors throughout that you'll see. Toby Jones and John Goodman. They play these CIA and British
Yes, they do.
heads who are interrogating Charlize throughout the film. And a lot of the film takes place in present and flashback. We
Correct.
go back and forth to interrogation,
We do.
to story, and so forth. This is really a front to back action film with a lot of style, 80s music throughout, non-stop action, directed by the guy who was one of the co-directors on the original John Wick. He was a stuntman.
Right.
He was a choreographer for many films. So this film, you're going to obviously see echoes of things you've seen in John Wick and other films. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was... I thought... It didn't have as much action as I initially thought it was going to.
Well, the first half hour,
But I
kind of,
still enjoyed it.
sucks us in. I didn't love the first half hour of this film. I felt that
A lot of exposition.
It's funny, but unfortunately, because of who you and I have now become obligated to watch films and so forth, I couldn't wait to see this movie.
Me too. I was
and
dying.
Yet I was too, because the trailer was so spectacular.
It was one of the best trailers in a long time.
I mean, it just made this. I can't believe that it wasn't number one last
I know,
weekend, but
I
it
know.
wasn't.
I
That
thought it was
miserable Dunkirk just shot down its glory, and Dunkirk, just a piece of abstractian. Oh, what a waste of Christopher Nolan's wonderful talent.
He didn't really
But
like Dunkirk.
Regardless, no, I did not.
And
care for
your co-host who filled in last week didn't care for it either.
No, I don't
Manny
think
didn't
he
like
did.
it.
Oh, he didn't?
He didn't.
Oh, I didn't see that show.
I thought
yet.
you were
I'll
gonna
have to
watch
check
it.
out Manny.
Well, it's on YouTube. So.
No, he's such a boring guy. I can't even talk to him in
he's
person.
a nice guy. He's
all
he's
right.
old.
He's old.
He's a curmudgeon.
I'd throw him out the damn window.
If
I
any
was
of you
him.
did not watch last week, go to YouTube and check out Film Banter episode 43.
Yeah, but take some
my
kind of
co-host was
stimulant.
there.
Take some kind of
Manny.
stimulant before you watch it, because you will fall asleep. 'Cause
Just do some acid, you'll
Manny
be fine.
is so boring. He's just a
wouldn't
horrifying
agree.
scourge
It's not boring.
of patheticism.
He's just
and,
set in his ways.
I think he was on some kind of cold medication.
Maybe
That's
he
what
was.
kind of brought him down.
It's called being elderly.
Oh, there you go. All right, so the first half hour of Atomic Blonde, I thought we just presented our beautiful Miss Theron. It was like she was doing a, that perfume commercial that she,
L'Oreal or whatever.
L'Oreal, or no, it's not L'Oreal.
What does she do?
She does L'Envin or something like that, where she's the Chanel number 5.
One of those.
Whatever. Who
Those
gives
very
a rat's
dramatic
ass?
commercials.
Those very dramatic where
Yeah.
she comes up in the slinky dress.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of that. Just Charlize kind of parading around
a lot of
in
mood
all
lighting.
of her beauty. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh man, we've been misled here. Normally, the average humanoid hangs their brain, checks their hat at the door, and just kind of goes in and goes for the ride. But me, I'm judging the film, unfortunately, because that's what I become, this product of a show like this, that I can't even enjoy life anymore. I can't even enjoy movies anymore because I'm judging them so constantly. And I found myself judging this film, and not in a positive way. However, once we got, and the music was too much. I thought that it was pounding away, and sometimes I couldn't even hear the dialogue. The music was so loud. And that was disturbing.
loud, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Much like Dunkirk. I don't want to get back into that horror piece of garbage, but I mean the sound in that film. Just forget about it. Just rent the the ear amplifier when you go in, or get the subtitle glasses so that you can understand. There's no other way you'll understand Dunkirk. Okay, so. We find out that Charlize, of course, she does these, a lot of John Wick kind of moves in this film. Right? Incredible. And Charlize did so much of her
prepped for
own
years for
stuff.
this movie.
My
Trying
God.
to get it made.
Well, finally,
She trained with Keanu Reeves, by the way.
I am not surprised. I would say about 40 minutes or so in, we start to have some of these incredible fight scenes
great.
that just knocked my socks off.
great.
We see Charlize getting pounded against a wall.
And that awesome car chase scene with the fighting, that was cool,
Oh my
too.
God!
It's great stuff.
It was amazing. This movie just took me into a realm that I haven't felt. The last time I saw fight scenes like this was maybe early James Bond. Sean Connery on a train with Robert Shaw in From Russia with Love, and Daniel Craig fighting.
Casino Royale, right?
No, he was fighting. Had a great fight also in a train in the latest Bond film,
Oh, yeah,
Spectre,
on Spectre,
and he's
yeah.
fighting the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Batista. That was a good scene.
Batista,
Yeah,
right.
that was a good scene.
Just some great fights. You know, we don't get a lot of great,
No.
realistic fight scenes that are just so awesomely produced
Yeah.
that we just sit there. You know, and of course, me as a, I'm just not watching the fight scene. I'm watching Charlize Theron
Yeah.
getting slammed into the wall, getting slammed into the
You
ground.
know she got hurt doing
You
this.
know she got hurt doing this, unless
Yeah.
they just, somehow were able to CGI her face on a stunt
Oh,
person's
no, I think she
body.
did them all.
But,
Yeah.
I don't think she did them all, but I think there were, most of the scenes, you see that it's
Some
her.
of those scenes
There's
with
even
the-
one scene where she puts the mask on her head, and then she whacks these guys, and she pulls the mask right off. I mean, we know it was her. I mean, for Bruce Lee.
And those scenes where they're falling down the stairs and all that
Oh,
shit.
my God.
There's one scene where a guy
in
gets...
that apartment.
Well, yeah, they go down the
Oh,
stairs. The
God.
camera goes with them.
I know. It
That
was-
must have
it
been...
was
I'm
amazing.
thinking that must have been a drone.
It was
I
amazing.
don't know how they did that
yeah,
shot.
Really. Well,
Unless the camera guy was on some kind of a...
They'll put it on a
rig.
line.
Well,
They'll
it could have
rig
been...
it on a line.
Yeah, it could have
Yeah.
been a line. He
Very
could
possible.
have been a fancy crane, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that
sure.
was
I mean, Scorsese
the camera work is
famous
amazing.
for his, following action down a.
Isn't it amazing though
set
how
of steps
John
or
Wick
whatever.
has now become the reference point for all action
Well,
movies?
it's very true.
The way that Die Hard did in '88, that became
There you go.
this is Die Hard on a
I
block,
know, I
Die
know.
Hard in a stadium.
If you haven't seen John Wick or John Wick 2, please
Great.
do yourself a favor and go rent them.
You
right
gotta-
away.
I don't know who
Just
hasn't, but you gotta
amazing,
see them now.
Beautiful, beautiful films. I can't wait
great.
for number 3. Keanu
Me
was
too.
very much invested in
Oh,
writing
yeah.
the screenplay and
Yeah.
involved once again. This guy trained for 6 months working on this movies.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give Keanu credit, and I got to give Charlize Theron
Yeah.
huge credit.
Yeah, I agree.
Huge.
She did a great job.
Amazing amount of work, and it paid off. It was all on the screen there to be watched, and I loved it. By the
And,
time I walked out of the theater, I was satiated. I got my
I was
got
really
my
thrilled,
action
yeah.
fixed.
I read that
mean,
it was-
there was like a needle stuck in my arm with Charlize's energy.
Because
at the
once
other
this
end of
movie
it.
kicked in, it was like high gear.
It
to
really
the end.
was.
And
And
I read,
no music during those fight scenes. They let them go.
Yeah, that
on
was
their
good.
own.
That was
I
good, yeah.
loved it. They just let them stand
we had
alone.
the music mostly just for transitional scenes.
Yeah.
A lot of scenes of her walking, looking cool, looking gorgeous, that kind of thing.
True.
And I was thinking while watching this movie is that she's really come a long way and
She
evolved
really has.
as
Absolutely.
an actress. Because
No
the
question.
first time I think anybody saw her was in 96, 97, 2 Days in a Valley.
Oh, I have that film.
Yeah, well, James Spader, which I kind
Yeah.
of like that movie.
James Spader.
Yeah, that
Danny
was I
Aiello.
think that was a John Hertzfeld film, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. That's a great little movie.
Yeah, I liked it. And then
She's naked in that film too.
she's
She
been
has a-
naked in probably,
Quite a few. Well,
I'd
she
say
did that-
more than a quarter of her films.
No, I wouldn't go.
She's
that
done
far.
a lot.
No, not that much.
Yeah.
Not that much.
That, she did nudity in this one. She was naked in Devil's Advocate. She did
Oh, yeah, that's
3 or
true.
4 other films where she was in some sort of
That's very
undress.
possible. And then she went
Reindeer
through a whole,
Games.
Then when she got her Oscar for
Even in
the
that one, she
serial
did some
killer
nudity,
movie,
yeah.
who was that?
Oh, Alien Warrens?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
but what's the name of the
Well-deserved
film?
Oscar. Oh, Monster.
Oscar.
Oscar.
Oscar. You said Oscar.
Oh,
Well-deserved Oscar.
Oscar.
I'm sorry. But anyway.
I'm from Boston. An
It's
Oscar.
all right. She got an Oscar. Okay,
But
babe.
yeah, if you haven't
All
seen
right,
Monster,
Matt.
check it out. Great film.
It is a great movie. Monster is the name of the film. That's
If
what it's
like,
called.
how could you make Charlize Theron look ugly? Watch Monster.
Yeah, very true. But we really see what her acting skills
No,
are.
of
We
course.
know the woman
100%.
can act. And now she's, a lot of. She was in the Huntsman, the Witch and the Husband.
She
the
was.
Snow White and
She
the
was
Huntsman
just in the last
film.
Fast and Furious film.
Last Fast and Furious 8 she was in, and she's kind of getting, we see where she's going, getting these action chops.
Mm-hmm.
She's no longer trying to pursue those, the movies that she's going to win the Oscar
Of course,
for.
of course.
Which everybody does. They win their Oscar, and now, well, I'm an actor now. I can only accept roles that are going to make me look fantastic as an actor. No. She knows now where that, hey, I want to do movies that are entertaining and fun, and that's what she's doing.
And it's also smart business because those movies do well. And once you become a box office guarantee in a way,
Yeah.
then you become more powerful and you can get the passion movies made.
Absolutely
She was
true.
able to get this movie made after 5 years because of the success of Mad Max Fury Road. I was reading that it wasn't until after that movie did so well that the studios really came around and really let this movie get off
She
the
is
ground.
so good in Mad Max.
She's
I mean,
fantastic.
she did get an Oscar nod in that. She got an Oscar nomination for that film.
I
Yes.
don't think she did.
I'm
Not
almost
an
sure.
Oscar
Best
nom-
supporting?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Did she?
I'm
I don't
almost
think
sure
she did.
She did.
She
was
should have,
awesome.
but I don't think she did.
You could be right.
Let's find out.
You could be right. I would have sworn she did, though.
I'll find out for you right now.
I don't think anybody else did, but I think if anybody
Well, it was up for
merited
best,
Picture.
director, best picture.
Yeah.
It won the most Oscars that year with I think 4.
well, technical aspect.
Technical ones,
I
but
think
it still
she
won the
was-
most Oscars of anybody.
I think she was nominated though for best supporting.
I'll
Check
let
it
you
out.
know.
But
She did,
anyway,
that's awesome.
regardless, she's just turned into, I just read recently that she was so excited that she just had gotten a new script for the prequel.
Prequel, yeah.
Which is where we see her lose her arm and so forth in the new
Yeah.
Mad Max film that will be coming out.
She was
soon.
not nominated for an Oscar. I didn't think so.
All right, there you go. I stand corrected.
But she should have been. Whatever.
She should have been.
Because it was her movie, really.
That's a stinker on behalf of the Academy.
But why don't
They
we move
should have
on?
given
You
it
ready to
her.
move on? 2 big yeses
Well, no,
if you haven't figured it out.
I don't know. Are we done talking about Atomic? I did love it. I did want to mention one.
Okay, go ahead.
I loved her little love scene with the French girl.
Oh, yeah, Sophia
whoever
Boutella.
she was, whatever.
Well, she was just in The Mummy. She played The Mummy.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Well,
Sophia Boutella.
She was actually great in the
And she
Mummy.
was in something else recently, too. She was in...
You mean she was in something else? Is that the name of the film?
No, she was also in The Kingsman, the first one. She was the
Oh,
girl
yeah,
with the
yeah,
blade
yeah.
legs.
Oh, she was great. Oh,
She's
that was awesome. Well,
You know what's
I
funny?
give
She's
her a
from
little-
Algeria.
Is she?
There's
Yeah, I
an
give her a little-
interesting quality to her appearance.
Yeah.
She's attractive, but she's not traditionally, I would say, pinup model.
Okay.
But there's an attractive... There's a real nice softness to her.
Yeah.
There's a very likability. There's a likability to her.
Yeah, but she can be that.
Well, yeah, that too.
That fisticuff bitch when she needs
She's
to
good.
be.
She's a good
Yeah,
actress.
she is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless, Atomic Blonde. It's a B movie. Let's not go beyond that. It's
It's a
not
genre film,
It's not.
yeah.
It's a genre film. It's but it's.
But it's a
still-
good genre film.
It's way up there for me. I loved it.
It's fun.
I did. It was great fun.
Me
Charlize
too. I
wonderful.
liked it. 2 big yeses.
There we go. And now we're going to move
on
on to.
to-
I'm going to be doing a film called The
The
Lure.
Lure.
The Lure is a film that is so special and so unique. It's just being released
Yeah, I
on the
gotta watch it.
Criterion label, and I will be reviewing this film in just a bit. Multiple Maniacs, starring Divine, a John Walters film from
Yes.
1971, and was it 70? I think it's 71. Anyway,
The year
regardless,
is written right next to it.
is it?
It's 70.
All right, who cares? But anyway, The Lure is a film that is so unique and so bizarre. I love this film. This movie just demands you to watch. This is a movie. It feels almost like a Darren Aronofsky film.
Okay, I can see
the
that.
man who gave us Requiem for a Dream, which is a very abstract kind of feeling of a movie. He makes movies that even the Mickey Rourke film was
The Wrestler.
The Wrestler.
I love
There's
that film.
just a surreal feeling to Darren's film. Of course, Black Swan is his big,
Of course.
absolute
His
masterpiece.
his big hit, yeah.
with Natalie Portman, of course. But
He's got a
you
new
know,
one coming out soon.
I'm not surprised.
Jennifer
The man is-
with Jennifer Lawrence
oh, really?
called Mother. It's a horror film.
Oh, wow. Oh, I can't wait. for
Coming
that.
out soon.
Oh, I just saw a preview for
Yeah,
it today.
Mother,
As a matter
yeah.
of fact, I'm on IMD.
Imd. That's
which
where I
is
watched it.
IMDb.
Imd.
Yeah, so, okay, so The Lure, this is a movie so unique, and I feel almost violated in telling you what it's about. Because I went into this film knowing nothing about
That's
it.
kind of how I want to do it too.
And that is the best way to see any movie. But unfortunately, because I am a man sitting here who is in the position to review this, I'm not going to give very much away, but I do have to tell certain things about the film. There is a musical aspect to this movie. It does feel like Aronofsky meets David Lynch meets La La Land. There's a sense of such absurd realism, but this is a beautiful, beautifully shot film. I really do appreciate and I really do love just the color aspect of the art direction of a movie. It turns me on. I got to tell you, if I'm looking at something that is so beautifully, somebody has mapped this out to just make it look like a photograph, and a brilliant photograph at that.
That reminds me of a point I was going to mention before I forgot real quick. Back to We Are the
I'm
Flesh.
sorry your time is up, dude.
Thank you.
You can't say anything.
I just want
now.
to say that We Are the Flesh had tremendous production design.
It really did.
I thought they did a great
No, I
job
agree,
with
I
that.
agree.
And I want to make sure I mention that.
Well, I thought you did mention that.
I didn't say production
Well, you
design.
said it looked like a womb, for God's sake.
I did, but I didn't congratulate the production design specifically.
It was a womb with a view.
Anyway,
Hey, but,
back to The Lure, which we have to say is a Polish film, so get ready for subtitles.
It is a Polish film. There are subtitles, but you know what? It meant nothing. I mean...
No, but some people don't like that.
Well, okay. This film is about two sisters who are beautifully done mermaids. We thought Daryl Hannah looked great as a mermaid back in 1983,
right? Yeah.
correct, with Tom Hanks. Well, these mermaids are slimy. They look real. These girls are basically topless almost through the entire
Yeah.
film.
I heard this was based actually on the source material of A Little Mermaid.
I wouldn't doubt that.
read that
You
in
know,
the
there is
trivia.
in Denmark, of course, is where the Little Mermaid. I saw the Little Mermaid. It's actually a statue that
really?
sits in it sits in a little pond out there, and it's constantly getting ruined by the locals. They'll go, they'll throw paint on it, or they'll steal it, and then it gets back again.
Yeah.
There's a certain affection and yet also disgust, because it's it's a long walk. I had to walk a long way to see this Little Mermaid statue.
What year were you there?
I was there in 1985, and I was in Denmark. I have very good friends that I've known for years and years, and they invited me over. I went over, and we had to walk a long way, and it was very cold, and we had to go see the Little Mermaid. And I get there, and there it is. It's a little tiny bronze statue sitting on a kind of in the water nearby, and I was like, that's it? It's like to see the Mona Lisa for the first time. The Mona Lisa is about as big as my phone, by the way.
And then I could see like it's this massive thing.
It's the greatest painting that ever was, and the reason is, the only reason that the Mona Lisa is so famous is because Leonardo da Vinci actually he thought he captured that woman, Lisa, whatever her name, whoever she was.
Yeah.
She was one of the queens of the era, and he used to go around painting everyone's portrait. He used to actually keep that painting rolled up in his pocket.
Oh, wow.
He'd pull it out and he'd say, take a look at this. And they'd all go, oh, wow, you captured her near smile perfectly. So that's the only reason this silly little painting. I mean, there are Degas and just beautiful frescoes and these magnificent paintings in the Louvre, and you see the Mona Lisa and it looks like a nothing. The only reason it's famous, and the only reason the Little Mermaid is famous, is because many people have gone to see it over the years. Of course, it was a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, etc. But the Mona Lisa was just something that Leonardo brought around to all the heads of Europe and showed them and said,
I didn't know the history
how do you
of
like
it.
the way I caught her smile? And they all went, wow, that's great. So it became famous just for that reason alone. But anyway, regardless. The lore is really super cool. It's funny. It's got that Lynchian David feel of just being funny one minute, horrifying the next. There's some incredible violence. It's really an amazing thing.
All right,
and then
so
they'll
it's
burst
not
into
a
song.
child-friendly film, is what you're saying.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
No, this is
we
not.
want to make sure people
this
hear.
is this is not for children of any sort.
Good to hear.
It just occurs to me. I've got my sound on. I'm going to turn it off here.
Oh yeah, we don't want to get that smooth guitar.
We don't want to get that smooth.
I kind of like when it happens.
I know too, because it's so cool, dude. But regardless, I cannot recommend The Lure enough. It is not for everybody.
Okay.
My wife, who has left this world, could never stand musicals. They're breaking into song. She did love West Side Story, but I don't know if she would have loved La La Land. But La La Land actually wasn't so much a break into song musical as a lot of people sitting at the piano and singing along, etc. So La La Land kind of overcame that stigma to some extent. Yeah. But the lure is set in a nightclub, and these two girls come to work for this man. It's so bizarre. I cannot even tell you. There's too many elements that I do not want to go into. I cannot recommend it enough. It's on Criterion, which is just the magnificent, the hierarchy, the creme de la creme of video companies who really take the utmost to master their film copies to perfection. So if you are familiar with them, and I hope you get familiar with them just from Chris and I sitting here, or whoever you are tonight, I forgot your name.
I am, I forget who I am too.
Well, it doesn't matter who you are. As long as you're you, it doesn't really matter.
The guy with the beard.
The guy with the beard. He's sitting right here.
So
The Lure, it's a big yes
great.
for me. It's a super weird film, and weird to me is always super cool.
Yeah,
I wish
also.
you would have watched this instead of We Are the Flesh, which is a very...
if I had remembered that you had meant, I did remember.
I said it to you. I said early on. I said, watch The Lure. And you said, okay.
Yeah, but I can't go back through my texts to remember our conversations. Oh, shut up.
Shut up yourself.
Quiet.
All right, so be quiet.
Are you done yet? Can we move on?
All right, so go ahead.
All right, well, I'm going to quick do a review of a film that you've touched on. I guess a couple months ago.
Kristen Stewart,
Kristen
Personal
Stewart.
Shopper?
I did watch Personal Shopper.
Okay.
The film is very kind of a haunting kind of a film.
It is.
She plays a...
It's kind of split in half.
It is,
Our
yeah.
first half is kind of a horror, if you will,
In a way,
ghost
about
story.
ghosts.
It's a ghost story.
And then it
the
becomes
second
a
film
thriller.
becomes a serial killer kind
Kind
of
of,
film.
yeah. And she plays a personal shopper to a famous model.
Right.
And so she's doing a lot of errands, and she's traveling throughout Europe. And the whole film takes place mostly in Paris.
Correct.
And so she's somebody who we find out fairly early on had a fraternal twin brother who passed away.
Right.
And so she feels his presence. And that is a theme that runs throughout the film.
Well, the ghost aspect.
The
But
ghost
then
aspect.
It turns into a murder mystery.
Well, yeah, then eventually
Yeah.
it changes gears. Somebody gets killed.
Yeah.
And then so she's very much not involved, but she's a part of it in a way. I think, if I remember correctly, she discovers.
Yeah, film is not for everybody. No question
but
about
it's
it.
interesting how it does
But
a
it is
whole
unique.
tonal change. And
Yeah.
then so she's trying to figure out, okay, well, who's in it? Somebody is communicating with her, texting her. She's not sure who it is. And
Gotta
she
move
gets
along.
the idea that
Yeah.
it's the killer that's texting her.
Correct.
So
Don't give too much away. You're telling too much.
I'm exactly touching on the points that you did in your review. You said those exact points.
What, did you go back and watch my review?
No, but I
again?
remember the plot
Well,
points you
son
mentioned.
of a bitch.
I remember the plot
No,
points
I'm
you did.
just kidding.
But anyway,
But,
it's really worth
regardless,
mentioning
it is
because
worth it. It's a good movie.
a
I
good
liked it.
performance, I thought, from Kristen Stewart.
Absolutely.
Who I feel is really kind of starting to come into her own now that
I think she's
out
coming
of
to
the
her own now that she's out
of
of
the Twilight
the
series,
Twilight
yeah.
Zone.
I agree.
I think no.
But I give a yes to
person.
Personal Shopper.
I
I
loved it.
enjoyed it.
I loved
There's
it.
a
I
lot
thought it
to
was a great
offer.
little movie.
It's a very moody film, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of atmosphere presented in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that she did a good job, so I would say check out Personal Shopper.
Yeah.
It's available now on streaming outlets. You can get it at your Redbox, probably.
It's got to be on Criterion, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
the
which I
wonderful
definitely agree with you is
company.
kind of a little not ready. It's not ready for that. It's not that kind of a movie. I don't
Well,
think.
you know, it is a unique film, and it's very well shot. It's very
It
well
is.
made, and it's got
But-
that European edge to it, which Criterion loves.
I guess that's probably
okay.
right.
We're going to move on to Multiple Maniacs
Yeah.
now. This is a 1971
Another Criterion
film,
review here.
1970 film starring Divine. I met Divine back in Chicago many years ago. She is now gone with the wind. It's actually a he, Divine.
Yes.
He was very famous for a movie and really got critical mass acclaim
Yes.
for a horrible film called Pink
Pink Flamingos.
Flamingos, which featured Divine at the very end of the film. She was supposed to be the dirtiest,
Yes.
most disgusting person in the world.
Yeah.
John Waters exploits this to such a major extreme. It's hilarious, and yet at the same time, it's so disturbing. You know, he's kind of almost, I hate to say this, but he's almost got a pre-David Lynch, a wannabe there. But John Waters was just a unique
very unique
director.
filmmaker.
Nobody, he really
He
was,
kind of invented trash
he
cinema.
invented trash cinema. Very true.
Yeah.
But trash cinema.
But in a good way. I love John
Well,
Waters.
he's
a character
he
in
is
himself.
unique. He is a character. He's a great guy. He's got that little painted on mustache, you know.
And you know, he's one of those filmmakers that there's only a handful of them that have transcended just being a filmmaker,
Yeah.
and they are a personality that people identify. Oh, but they know. Oh, well, John Wood. I know that he's a filmmaker. Most filmmakers, they disappear in the background.
No, that's very true.
He's a guy who you'll see on the press
Well,
circuit
he
for his
is-
movies.
he is a-
lot of
he is a
directors don't do
character,
that.
no question.
He is. He's a fascinating guy.
Multiple
and a great
Maniacs.
writer and everything.
Multiple Maniacs is so.
I've not seen that.
So fucked up. This movie is fucked up. Let me tell you something. It's about Divine is just a woman who takes joy in just shooting people. She brings people to her little circus show, and then as a kick, she ties them up and beats them, and often shoots them in the head. You know, of course, it's boom. And when people punch each other, it's missed by a mile. But or when they stab, you don't even see the knife going anywhere near you. You can probably see the rubber blade flying in the wind. But there is a comedy. There's a warmth about this movie. Divine, such a unique human being, plays this feminine thing. She was, in fact, a drag queen.
I think so, too.
I saw. Well, no question about it. That was her thing. I saw her at a drag club. This is back in like 1980, I guess it was. It was probably 1980. She had maybe 77, in fact. She had just released a single called "I'm Cheap." And that was the song. And I brought it in. I brought in the 45 with the picture sleeve. And I brought it in. I had her sign it. And I remember saying to her, well, at the end of Pink Flamingos, of course, you had to. She scoops up a pile of poodle manure
Yeah.
and throws it in her mouth. And,
Yeah.
you know, the entire audience, I mean, very often people would just vomit right there in the theaters. I mean, it was like, you know, The Exorcist. There was, people were reacting
Disgusting.
so violently. It was so
became a
gruesome.
big midnight
and
movie.
she really did. I even asked her, did you swallow it or did you just... She said, no, I spit it out. So I said, well... And I like an idiot, I say to her, I said, so, well, how did it taste? She said, it tastes like shit. That's exactly what she said. And I'm thinking to myself, well duh, why did you even ask her that? Of course it tastes like shit. You know, I gotta say, there's a warmth to these movies. They're so messed up. You know, but the dialogue, I don't know whether she's improving it or whatever. I didn't listen to the commentary by John Waters, but it's a fun little movie. I gotta say, they're a kick.
Okay.
You know, it's just stupid, nonsensical BS, black and white. You know, it's almost crudely filmed. You can see the grain in the film and in the high def Blu-ray of multiple maniacs. But it's great fun. I can't recommend it enough. But don't expect King Lear out of this because you ain't gonna get it. You know, you're not even gonna get Beth Lear out of it.
You're not even gonna get King Ralph.
No, you're not gonna get nothing. Yeah, John Goodman's a hunk of junk. So we're going to move on to...
I'm going to do a real quick review of something I watched the other day called Truth.
I think maybe we should blow that off and just move down because we're almost at the 8:30 mark right now.
Well, why don't we just do this and then...
Why don't we just
blow
go
off
right
flashback?
into To Sir?
What time is it?
It's 8:25.
All right, well, I'll
You
save
do
that
To
for another
Sir,
time.
and then I'll do The Driver. But yeah, I would say Charles Manson because everybody knows that story. It's
I
pretty
know,
much a
but I
documentary.
didn't know a lot about it. It was a documentary.
I know. So
I'll skip that. All right, so we're going to do our flashback sequence real quick.
All right.
We'll cover 2 quick movies. I watched To Sir with Love for the first time.
Maybe 3.
No, 2. If I got to blow off one, so do you.
Well, wait a minute, though.
You can either do The Driver or you do your children's hour, not both. You get one. If I got to blow off something, so do you. Doesn't work that way.
I think you should just blow off some steam, buddy.
Eat my ass.
Yeah. How could you even say such a thing?
Because my ass is delicious.
Yes, but here your stepson is at.
He's not watching right
this
now.
show.
He's not watching
Hearing
right now.
you say things like that.
He's
That's
not.
just disgusting.
He's asleep. Anyway.
That's just horrifying.
It is.
And that's your ass commenting on your own comment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, flashback, I'm going to do To Sir with Love. I watched that for the first time. 1967,
Yeah.
Sidney Poitier, a landmark film. A film that I grew up hearing a lot about because my parents really liked this movie.
Yeah.
And I finally watched it a couple days ago. And, I mean, I can see, again, why Sidney Poitier was the star that he was.
He was a big, huge star back in his
He
day.
is a very good actor. He's charming.
They
he has
called
charisma.
him Mr. Tibbs.
They did. He is charming.
Yeah.
He is likable. He's smart. He has a very natural element to him, a very natural vibe. I really enjoyed his performance.
No, he doesn't have a natural vibe.
I think
he's
he
not
comes
a natural.
I think he
he's
comes
a
across as very natural.
He's a natural actor.
Yeah, natural.
But he always portrays an elite black man, even in Lilies of the Field.
No, he does, but
He
I'm
was
saying
an
he has as a performer, he's very natural.
Well, no, okay,
I
I
guess
agree
that's what
with
I meant
that.
to say.
But no, he took the black man image.
He elevated
and
the status of the black
elevated-
man.
Absolutely,
Of course.
he was a brilliant human.
No, yeah,
being.
I wasn't speaking on that. I'm
Still
speaking on
alive
just
and well,
him
yeah.
as a performer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's.
I see what you're
he
saying.
He plays always intelligent characters. Obviously.
Indeed.
He's great.
Well, not so much in Lilies of the Field. He's
Well, I
kind
haven't
of
seen
a-
that. That
he's
I'm going to
kind of
watch
a
this week.
cotton-picking
I have
home-
that
He's
sitting
a
at home.
cotton picking homeboy.
Yeah, don't
in
say
that.
anything. That's his Oscar
There's a
film.
wonderful song in that though, and the great Lila Kedrova is in that movie, and she won an Oscar
Okay.
for that film.
We'll talk about
As
that film
supporting
next week when I watch
actress.
it in
Okay,
2 weeks.
fine.
I enjoyed the film.
I have a zit here. I'm just
I
going
know,
to
go
pop
pop
it
it.
real quick.
I liked. So the story is pretty simple. He is a guy who gets a job as a teacher in a British school.
I think everybody knows.
Yeah, and
the
it's a
story.
school for basically
Yeah.
troubled kids.
Tell the world about the grotesque scene in the film. There's a grotesque scene.
Well, there's a scene where they prank him by lighting.
I want to know
who did this. Yeah.
which girl. He gets all the guys to leave.
Yeah.
Because there's an oven in the classroom.
And they lit some stuff on fire.
Well, you know what they lit?
I don't think it's ever revealed.
Well, he gets rid of all the boys in the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
I want to know which one of
Oh
you.
yeah, it was a tampon.
laid-
That's what it was.
Of course, it was a
sanitary
tampon.
napkin.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
They put it in the oven and you know
See, for me, the
turned it
problem,
up to high.
the DVD that I got from the library had a skip in that part, and it jumped over. As soon as the fire was there, it cuts to him yelling, and then it cuts to the next scene.
You're kidding.
I had to read in the trivia that it was a tampon.
Yeah, it was definitely a
Yeah.
tampon.
So anyway, yeah. So
I
yeah.
guess.
So he he has to basically,
assuming it was a tampon.
in the style of many films
I don't
like
think
this.
they had tampons, Ben, in the '60s though.
Well, it was probably a maxi pad.
it was
whatever
yeah.
it was, sanitary
Yeah.
napkin is what
Once
they called
again,
it.
you're mentioning your stepson here. Oh, a maxi pad.
Oh, stop it.
I'm sorry.
But I'm bummed.
But hey,
So,
hey, but
my
hey,
point is
hey,
this.
Whoa, hey.
This is a film basically where, he has to first get the trust of these students who are all wild, crazy kids.
There we go.
And then, as you can imagine, he earns their trust and then eventually makes a difference in
Blah,
their
blah,
life.
blah.
So,
But we have this great theme song by Lulu.
To serve with you. It was a very good, memorable song.
With love.
And
It's
it
a
plays
big hit.
3-4 times. Yeah, it was a
I
big
know,
hit.
you hear this song, you go into a supermarket.
Many times
You will hear
it's in
this
the
song.
movie.
It has
Yeah.
retained its
It has.
stature amongst pop
It's a
classics.
very good song.
It's a pop classic.
I love the sequence when they go to the museum and it's just bop, 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 bop. It cuts back and forth to images instead of actual footage. That's because they couldn't get to...
If I could ride in the sky with
yeah.
lanterns.
I love that part, yeah. They couldn't get permission. They couldn't get permission to film in the museum. So they had to just take still photographs. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was
But
weird.
at the end of the day, I like the film.
What about the beginning of the day?
No,
Did
at
you
the
like
end
it
of
at
the
the
day.
beginning of the day?
I did, but here's the thing.
That's just an expression.
Had I not seen this film 40-something years after it came out, and not had already seen many films of this nature before, it might have had a little more impact on me.
Yeah, it's dated.
Yeah.
It's a dated film.
Plus, I've seen a million movies like this before, where the teacher comes in to school the
Alright,
kids,
sir.
lean on
We
me,
love
all
you,
that kind of
sir.
stuff. Renaissance
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
Dead
exactly.
Poets Society.
Yeah, yeah.
However, I still enjoyed it. I'm glad
Yeah.
I watched it.
We're glad you're glad.
I like Sydney. He's the draw. He's really good.
We're
And
glad
the
you're glad.
main blonde in this film is excellent. She's very cute too.
She's very cute.
Forget her name.
I forget her name. but she's
Something
so
Geeson.
cool. Oh, Judy.
Judy Geeson. Yeah,
little
she was
Judy.
good.
Oh, gone.
But anyway, I recommend it. Give it a yes to Deserve
Yeah.
Love. Why don't we move on? Which one of these two films are you going to do?
I'm going to do. I'm going to
It's
do The
8:32.
Driver. I want to talk about The
The
Driver.
Driver,
I'll tell you
1978.
something. I adored this film. This movie is so unique and so cool. It's almost like a Dirty Harry film to some extent. It's filmed by Sam Peckinpah protege Walter Hill.
Oh, great.
Who is very much
Still
a
working
part of
today.
Still working today. We just had him do a film recently. He was involved with the newest Alien film.
Well, he's been involved
He's
since the
always been
first
involved
one.
with the first Alien,
Yeah.
but there was
As a
another
writer,
film
producer.
he was just involved in too. But
Yeah.
regardless, not important.
Yeah, he just did something. You're right. I'll look it up while you
This
talk.
is a movie that I actually wanted to see because of Baby Driver that we recently saw, which is such a cool little film. We reviewed it like 3 weeks ago.
We did.
Jamie Foxx and this the kid who plays the driver. But Ryan O'Neal is the star of this film, who most people know from, Love Story with Ally McGraw, where people just die of random illnesses back in those days. Terms of Endearment also was a film such a...
Real quick to interrupt, he just did The Assignment, which we reviewed a couple
Oh,
months
okay.
ago.
I love The Assignment.
Yeah, the assassin film
Yeah,
with,
that was,
with
what's her
Rodriguez.
name?
Michelle
Rodriguez, of course.
And he did produce the latest Alien as well.
Naturally so.
And he's producing a remake of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Continue.
Well, anyway, this movie is so cool. Ryan O'Neal barely cracks a smile in the whole film. The beautiful, her name is Angela. What is her name?
I'll look it up.
Oh, my God.
We should have written this down.
No. Her name is Isabel. Oh,
Called
God.
The Driver.
Yes, The Driver.
Okay.
Isabel Ange.
Oh, Isabella Gianni.
Ajani. Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah, I
God.
know
is
her.
She, well, she was
French
in
actress.
She was in Werner Herzog's Dracula.
Yes.
Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski.
She was, correct.
But I'll tell you this: this movie is so cool and so well done. There is not one person that is referred to. Nobody has a name in
I
this
understand.
movie. And in essence, we don't really need names in films. We have the person's... It must have been a little difficult on the screenplay, detective number one. And I'll tell you something, Bruce Dern plays the detective in this. He's so good. He turns that, Bruce Dern always plays a psycho
Yeah.
in every movie he's in.
Or a curmudgeon.
Except the
Nebraska.
movie... the movie he's on the planet. Not it's I want to say Soylent Green, but it's not Soylent Green. He's in a tritarium. He's on a what the hell's the name of that? It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I forgive my lame
It's a sci-fi movie?
memory gland. Yes, but it's a movie with Bruce Dern, and he's in like a terrarium on a planet. And but anyway, regardless, Bruce Dern lends his psycho personality beautifully to playing a psycho lieutenant.
That's cool.
In a cop. He's the cop, and he's chasing down Ryan O'Neal, who he knows is the driver of these getaway robberies and so forth. The car chases are great. I mean, really great. Unfortunately, you could always see the stunt driver that it wasn't really Ryan O'Neal doing most of the driving. Every once in a while, when it was a close-up shot, we'd see Ryan, but most of the time not. But I'll tell you, this movie is so cool, so well done. There's just so many good violent deaths in this film. Just had a sense of nutsy. You just didn't know what was going to happen or where the movie was going to go in just terms of sheer violence and sheer surprise. I loved it. I absolutely did. It was an hour and a half, so well spent. I adored this film.
It sounds great.
It was great. I just didn't expect Ryan O'Neal to be, I mean, you know, living in sleazy hotels, and Isabelle Adjani comes in. Also, one of my favorite, her name is Ronnie Blakely. She was in Nashville, and she put out a couple albums, which I just loved.
Oh, Silent Running.
Silent Running, that's the film.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see that
Valerie, what's her name is in that?
Bernality?
No. She was in Lenny with Dustin Hoffman. What's her name? Valerie. She was in Superman.
There isn't a Valerie here.
Superman, the original Superman with Christopher Reeve.
You're talking about Margot Kidder.
No. The other woman who plays. My mother lives in Hackensack. She says at the end of the film.
Well, this movie doesn't have anybody listed the name of Valerie.
Oh, hold on a second.
There's a Jessie.
No.
Jesse
her
Delt
name
or something?
Is I
That's
don't
the entire
see
cast.
her. Bruce Dern.
Unless it's uncredited performance.
No, she's got to be in here. I don't see her though. Well, all right, forget it. Yeah, that's odd.
Oh,
You
well,
sure you've got the right film there?
This is Silent Running right here.
Silent Running?
Silent Running.
I would've
Unless
thought
you're
she-
confusing
Oh no,
two
I am
movies.
surprised. She was in Slaughterhouse 5.
Oh.
Slaughterhouse Woomph. What a great movie that was. That's a George Roy Hill film.
Never
God, I
saw it.
love
I know
that.
it's based on a Kurt
my
Vonnegut
God, is
novel.
that
Kurt
exactly
Vonnegut novel.
Such a spectacular little piece of work. God, I love that. Yeah. He's living in a terrarium, and there she is. Regardless, anyway, can't say enough about the driver. This movie just
Sounds
was
great.
so cool, so well done. Nobody has a name. People just getting snuffed out left and right. Loved it. Never expected it. It was like a Dirty Harry movie without Clint Eastwood. That's how good it was. It was just wonderful.
That sounds great.
Okay. Now, if you'd like me to go into the children's hour, I'll be happy to.
No, we're going to end the
Because we
show.
only have a few minutes.
No, I want to end the show.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you want to do a recap?
We have a choice. Either review one more movie or recap.
What
I
do you
want to
want?
do both.
You want to do both?
I don't want to do both.
You don't. Well, then let's just do a recap.
I was hoping to blow off recap.
You don't like doing the recap?
It's too much work.
All right, then I'll just review another movie.
Just review another movie.
All right, so I got the Children's Hour.
The recap is a lot of work for me.
1961 film, The Children's Hour, it is called. It stars Shirley MacLaine, and it stars the beautiful, wondrous Audrey Hepburn, magnificent saint of acting that she is. This is a movie about lesbianism. It takes place in a girls' school. Shirley MacLaine and Audrey Hepburn are both teachers in this school. This little girl, who is kind of the bad seed in this film. She's kind of she's a crazy little girl, and she accuses people, and she lies, and she says, I saw them kissing and stuff. And so it kind of turns into a public denouncement of gay. Back in 1961, of course, which was, back in 1961, it was very frowned upon. Certainly not like today, where we're having parades and
Of course.
Gay people are a part of our lifestyle, no question about it. I think half of the entertainment world would fold and crumble if the gay population suddenly was banished exiled to Mars. But it's an amazing little piece of work and beautifully acted. We also have a guest appearance by James Garner. He's the love interest of Audrey Hepburn, and she's kind of the straight one. Shirley,
dead? I keep thinking he's dead.
James Garner is
He
dead.
just died recently, though.
He died
because
in
I thought he died like 3 years ago.
I'm going to say 2008 or something.
No, he died more recently than that.
Well, maybe
he died within the past couple
2011.
of years.
No, I don't think so.
I always thought it was a little while ago.
You may look him up,
He's
sir.
still alive.
Please do it if you'd like.
He died recently.
I don't know about that. That's for you, James Garner. Yeah, I give you a big thumbs up.
2014. I knew it was more recent.
Oh, all right. So it's 3 years.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Anyway.
Well, anyway, this is a movie about lesbianism and how the frowning upon society
It's
and
been shocking when it
kind
came
of
out.
the head. Absolutely must have been. It's a very deep, dark drama. It's very well done. Audrey gives it a lightness. Shirley is the dark. She's the hardcore lesbo, if you will, who falls in love with Audrey. And we have this film is a tragedy. There is no question about it. And it lends a certain amount of sympathy towards the lesbian community, the gay community, if you will, back in 1961. And I think that's what it was trying to do. I really enjoyed this film a lot. It's a lot of time to put into a dated film about a subject matter that is certainly far more irrelevant than it was relevant back in 1961. So it was almost but it's always been a film that I've always heard about and I always wanted to see. So I watched it. I'm glad I did, just to see a young Shirley MacLaine, because she had just come out of The Apartment, the Billy Wilder film with Jack Lemmon. That is just a classic film comedy.
She probably had done Trouble with Harry around the same time, right?
No, Trouble with Harry was her first film.
That was earlier.
That's in like 57.
Yeah.
And then she did, I believe, Irma la Douce, and then as time went on, she did with Clint Eastwood. She did a film called Two Mules for Sister Sarah. But, Shirley MacLaine, I think in her older age, has become a far better actress than she was in her younger age.
Well, everybody usually gets better with age.
Well,
you get more
yeah,
experience.
absolutely.
You live more life to bring into your performances.
Very true indeed. There is a maturity, obviously, that is in
you
alignment.
peak like a wonderful bottle of wine.
Oh, like a wonderful bottle of wine. Oh, that's
I know.
so cornball.
Not exactly the most astounding anecdote or comparison.
I just crapped in my pants a little
It's okay.
when you said
All right,
that.
so you recommend The Children's Hour? Big yes,
I do, absolutely. It's not a big yes. It's
a yes
I don't
nonetheless.
even know if I recommend you all watching this film, but it's certainly.
You know that nobody's going to.
Nobody's going to want to watch this movie. I watched it for you.
I don't
so
even
you don't
think
have
Shirley MacLaine
But
wants
you
to
know,
watch it.
I like to go to the classics. I
do too.
really love to go back into the black and white
Me
world,
too.
and I just love to see how filmmakers were thinking. I like to go back into the silent world. I like films.
Silent is a bit rough for me.
Every era there is. Well, if you want to see one of the best silent films of all time, The Passion of Joan of Arc.
I know. I liked it
will
because
blow
you said
your
that.
mind.
I want to see that.
It is so incredible. The performance of this woman. She never acted again. Don't
like
even
to
know
see
her
that.
name. But she's a Swedish actress. Oh my God, it's just outrageous. I've heard that the King of Kings, early Cecil B. DeMille film, silent version, is like the best version of the movie ever made.
Okay.
I've talked to people who keep telling me, "Oh my God, you got to watch it. You got to see it. You got to see
I
it."
remember Metropolis being amazing.
Well, Metropolis is amazing.
So ahead of
They've
its time.
updated it. Well, that's Fritz Lang
I know,
for you.
I know.
But they updated Metropolis with a new score. They've given it. Giorgio Moroder did the entire. The guy who did the Richard Gere film with that famous Richard Gere movie.
What's that
He's
storyline?
hanging upside down. He's a gigolo.
American Gigolo. Paul
There you
Schrader.
go. Paul Schrader directed, of course, and
Yes.
Giorgio Moroder. And Giorgio Moroder did rescore Metropolis back in like 83
That's cool.
or so. Yeah. Anyway, regardless,
So
that's the end of our
that's
show.
our show.
That's our show.
well,
folks.
thanks for watching. A reminder, everybody, two things. One, always check us out on YouTube. Check out the YouTube page. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube, please. And reach out, filmbanter at Gmail.
Reach out for me.
Yes,
One time
filmbanter
for
at
me.
gmail.com.
Yeah.
If you want him to stop doing that, let us
be
know.
there.
And then also, reminder, we're going to be off next week, so no show.
Yeah, Chris is going to
And
be on
we'll
the
be back
beach. Yeah, he's going to be on the,
the week
beach.
after
you know what I'm
next.
saying?
Well, I'm going to be at the lake. Not
He's
necessarily
going to be on
the
the
beach.
lake. You know what I mean? You
I
know
just
what
want
I
to
mean?
make sure that they know the date. We will be back on the 15th.
Good
We're
luck
taking
to you.
off the 8th.
All right, Kim.
So we'll see you guys. We love doing
See you in
this.
2 weeks.
Check out this show. The edited version of this show will be on YouTube within a couple days.
Yeah, a couple days.
So check it out on YouTube.
Let's see how many people gave a damn about us.
And 119 viewers
Well, one
tonight.
person gave us a thumbs up.
That's good.
That's pretty shitful.
Yeah, it was my
That's
fiance.
pretty horrible. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
Well,
guys, thank you.
Kim. Thank
We'll
you,
see you
Kimberly
soon.
McMahon.
We love you all.
We love you.
Bye.
Take care.